Options to get rich me. Welcome back to Options to get rich, and let's quickly look at some of the stocks which I have recommended and which have given phenomenal returns in this rally. So one is Genus Power, which I had covered in the last video, and second is HPL Electric Power, which I have recommended here at 94. Okay, you can see here that I have recommended it at 94. Okay, and now let's look at the chart why I have recommended this. So you can see that this is the chart of HPL Electric. Okay, and this was a channel which it was following. Okay, this was a trend line, and if you see here, basically this was one trend line basically which it was following, where it was forming a lower low and it started forming a higher high here. Okay, it changed the pattern here. So once it changed the pattern here at around 68, okay, and it broke here again. I recommended it here at second time, but somewhere here in between, when I identified this stock, again I gave a recommendation here, and you can see the amount of rally it has given. Once it has crossed this high, it's a vertical rally where the stock has got almost 2.5 times, and the rally is not going to stop here. That's what is my assumption, because I am assuming it to touch easily 300 plus level. It touched 240 levels in this week. This is the high. 245 it did, and it has now shown some retracement because RSI is overheated. So it has shown some retracement, and in the days to come, basically it will easily cross 300, and that's where basically once it crosses 300, then I will advise you to book some amount of profit in this particular stock, and then you can exit from this stock, or you can continue to hold 50% of your folio. Okay, the next stock I want to recommend here is for the coming week. Let me clear all this junk first for you. Now if you see, this is the part of Glenmark, this is the chart of Glenmark Pharma. Okay, and if you see here, Glenmark Pharma, if you see here, it is forming a nice inverse head and shoulder, if you see here. And if I draw a line here on the weekly, you can see a pattern here, okay, which is an inverse head and shoulder. This is one shoulder, this is one head, and then this is the another shoulder, and it has completely given a good nice breakout. I had recommended on my channel at around 666, because I could identify this pattern beforehand, and if you take an entry beforehand, it becomes easy for you to get decent returns. So nothing is still lost. It's a good entry right now. So if you see the target for this, basically if you see here, this is 533 points, 533 points. So from this point also, from 697 you can add 533 points, so which will be 1200. So you will be easily getting a target of 1200 in the coming months. Okay, this is not an immediate target which you are going to get, but you are going to get in immediate months, in the following months, probably a year or so, you may get easily the levels of 1200. So I would advise you to put some of your investments in Glenmark Pharma, where your returns will be good. The only thing is, like, if the stock is falling below 353, then you have to take a stop loss. Okay, then you have to take a stop loss. So ideally you can invest a few amount here, because stock doesn't go one way up. So at least 25 to 50% of your investment should be here, and if you get a good price of around 500, then you can invest more. If in any correction, if you get around 500, I would advise you to invest more. Okay, let's move to another chart which is giving me a decent uptrend signals. Okay, now if you see, this is the chart of ONGC on a weekly basis. Now why this stock is basically attracting to me is, basically one is, if you see here, it's forming a nice cup and handle pattern here. Okay, this is a nice cup and handle pattern. Okay, the breakout of this has already come on a closing basis. If you see, if I put it on a line chart, you will be able to see here. Okay, this cup and handle pattern has already given a breakout. Okay, so, and if I draw a line for you, not this one, let me just select the right line, and if I draw from here like this, so you can see the breakout of this cup and handle pattern has already come. Okay, this is a cup and this is a handle here, and the breakout has already come. Okay, so again, now if you see, the down is 109 and this is around 161. Okay, so there is a easy up move of 50 rupees here, which you can see from these levels. So from 170 you can easily go to 220 in the coming days, coming weeks. So keep an eye on ONGC, which is attracting to me. And not only this, if you see here again, it is forming a inverse head and shoulder on weekly chart. Okay, now this is a small target I am giving to you, 220, but my expectation is like this stock can do phenomenally well. If I just show you, now this is a head and shoulder, you can say the breakout has come on a weekly basis of this also. Okay, and if you see here, the targets can be much bigger here, basically from an investment point of view. If you see here, this is 50 rupees. Okay, and this so it comes to 106. From these level it's coming to 106. So the target is again 106 rupees above this level. So you can easily see 270 to 300 rupees hitting in this stock also. Okay, so these are the stocks which I would recommend you to invest in, ONGC and Glenmark, in the coming days for a good return from the investment perspective. Okay, let's quickly look at another stock called Infosys. A lot of people have invested in this and they have lost money. So certain things I would like to explain here. Okay. Okay, now this is Infosys chart for you. Okay, now if you see basically like let me do it on a daily basis so that it becomes easier for you to understand. Now this is Infosys. You can see the amount of gap up, gap down. Okay, so if you would have simply drawn a trend line from above, you would have seen the resistance just before the results. Okay, if you would have just drawn a simple line. Now if you see, simple line, see above this line it formed a negative candle and the price again came down. Once the price came down, you should ideally wait for price to go above this line and give a closing above this line, above this trend line. If you see, you should wait for a price to close above this trend line. At least 2 to 3 days it should close above this trend line, then only you should enter into the stock. Or if you have basically entered somewhere in between here, then ideally during this or close to this trend line, if the stock is not breaking out and if it is giving a negative signal like this, you should get out. Otherwise there can be a decent drawdown in your stock, and now again it will take a lot of time to recover. Okay, it will certainly take a lot of time to recover. It will not be a fast process because you can see this gap here. Now this gap has also taken a lot of time to fill, and again it has come to the same levels. Okay, another thing, basically if you would have drawn a simple anchored VWAP, if you see here, if you would have drawn an anchored VWAP from here, from this point, you would have understood that all the people, those who have been selling from the top, they are again going to sell here because their price have reached here again to the selling point. So this is going to be a selling zone. So price has retraced back from here. Okay, now let's look and identify what Nifty is doing for us. Nifty, if you see, it is in this channel on a daily basis. It gave a breakout here out of this channel, but the next day, because of Infosys results or whatever reasons you can say, it came back into this channel. Okay, now what we can expect is, we can expect some correction here. Okay, the correction will be short term. It's not going to be a basically crash or something like that. It's going to be a small short term correction, but I am expecting it to touch 20,160 in the days to come. That's what I am forcing, 20,160. Okay, and in my last video also I have posted Nifty, basically showing you the targets, how you can achieve the higher targets. You can go and have a view in my last week's video where you will be able to find that. Okay, let's look at Bank Nifty also. Bank Nifty, I have tweeted that 46,331 is the level which we are going to see this week, and we exactly did 46,383, 360 this high, and we retraced back. So that was the level basically I had posted on 17th basically when we were here, when we have closed at around 45,400. So I have posted, I have tweeted about it that we will be doing 46,331. So you can go and check my tweet on my Twitter profile, and we achieved this week. Now what next basically? Okay, so it's again you can draw a trend line. Okay, so you can see that we are taking the resistance of this trend line at this point of time. So wait for a breakout above this. Okay, so you can follow simple trend lines. Okay, bank nifty is highly bullish at this point of time, so there is a high possibility. If you see that this is again forming a inverse head and shoulder. So there, if you see here, so if a breakout comes of this, you can see a further rally, and which will take it towards 47,400 also. So 47,400 on the upside is the next level which I am eyeing. Okay, so that's all in this small video, and do share your feedback. What else do you want in my analysis, so that I can help you with the same. Thank you, and have a nice week, and have a nice trading week.